Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the Rosen Center for the 91st AAU Sullivan Award. If you would please welcome again to the stage the President and CEO of the Amateur Athletic Union, Mr. Rusty Buchanan.
Hey, twice in one day I get applauded for not having done anything. Thank you guys so very much. This is a very special award, simply because of the history and the tradition. And this award, and the history and the significance that it has, starts with amateur athletes, it starts with kids, and it starts with our family. I think we would be amiss if we don't recognize members of our family that started in AAU programs, that have gone on. And at this time, I'd just like to recognize the members of our AAU family that are here today, that started in a program that went on to be NBAers. There's a couple in here. Stand up and let us see you. Sam, I know we're here. Who else we got? I'd like to recognize those guys that have gone on from Major League Baseball. I'd like to recognize the one that's gone on to the NFL. So if you've gone on to the next level in amateur sports and professional sports and you're part of our family, just wave and let everybody know that you're here supporting these young kids. We appreciate it. There's one more group, and that's the group that have represented us and our country at the very highest level. And that's those among our AAU family that have represented us in international competition. So if, Darnell Hall, you are an Olympic athlete or represented us in Pan Am Games or international, please stand up and let's give you a round of applause for coming through our AAU programs. I see Olympic gold medalist Darnell Hall. Thank you all so very much for being here and being a very part of this very special day. There's another very, very special member of our family. He was the 1981 recipient of the James E. Sullivan Award. He's one of us. He is the most decorated male athlete in the history of the Olympic Games. He has 10 Olympic medals to his credit. He is one of us. He is our friend. He is our MC. Ladies and gentlemen, please, needs no introduction, but I am happy to introduce my friend, Mr. Carl Lewis.
Rusty, thank you very much for having me. He talked about my friend. Well, you know how people say, like, my friend, when in reality you don't really know them? But in this case, actually, Rusty does. So a few years ago, more than I want to admit, I was going on a recruiting visit, and Rusty was my host going on a recruiting visit. So the good thing about it is that we've known each other a long, long time and had a lot of things we've done with the AAU and different things. But I guess the bad thing in Rusty's thing, everyone knows I'm 60, so that means you're older. But we still stayed friends. You know, it's really a wonderful, wonderful time because of the AAU meant so much to me, and the Sullivan Award is incredible. You mentioned that just a few minutes ago. Well, I just turned 20 years old on my first real big international season. I was at the University of Houston at the time, and I was invited to the Sullivan Award, and I knew so much about it because the Sullivan Award was, we talked about the #1 amateur athlete. I know it's kind of a little different now because that's muddled, but there's still a distinction. And when we talk about all the awards, whether it's in any sport, it's really based on the Sullivan Award. It was a first. It isn't, the Sullivan Award isn't like the Heisman. The Heisman's like the Sullivan. And everything is like the Sullivan. It was the first and it's the ultimate of all sports. So it's why it's so important, and we're so happy to be here. And I remember that day when I was sitting at the table, like with some of you young athletes that are here today, and they made that call. I was completely surprised. I didn't think there were some great athletes there. Scott Hamilton and a lot of people I met that I've been friends with the rest of my life. Well, sitting there, and when they called my name, it was just an incredible moment. Not just a moment of winning the Sullivan Award, but it also kind of established something in your heart, in your mind, of what you have to accomplish. You see, so many of you, and I think it was important for you, Rusty, to talk about the AAU part. And I was just sitting at the table talking to some young coaches and club owners and club people that run clubs. And I got into track and field simply because my mother, in the 1960s, was not happy about the fact that girls did not have an opportunity to run track. Girls they did not have track in the high schools. They didn't have many youth programs in our community. So instead of just complaining about it, she went down and started a track club. Now, if we go back and tell the story like I always say, my mother and father started a club. So when the mother starts it, it's both. When the father starts it, it's him. So they always said my parents started a club, so of course I knew the answer. But it was really about empowering young people and young women and girls, giving them an opportunity. And because of that, boys joined the club, and next thing you know, I started AAU track in 1970. So it's such an important impact and such an important thing, not only to the young people, the parents, the mentors that get a chance to compete, but also what it does for communities. It created track and field in our community, and my place, Willingboro, New Jersey, was a big place for sports, but track and field was an integral part of that. So the impact that AAU, the Sullivan Award, and all this is so strong. It just resonates through every single person here. So I'm happy you're here for your convention, and I'm happy to do this. So often people ask me, what do I do, or what did I do with my Sullivan Award? Well, over the years, I kept the few awards that I did get and kept them around, and people used to always ask to see them or what it was. So for me, a few years ago, I cut a deal with the African American Smithsonian. If you're ever in Washington, go there. And so I sent some of my items, some of my prize items to the Smithsonian. So forever, I'm not sure of anyone else, but forevermore, the Sullivan Award will be in the Smithsonian long after we're gone. So that's just tell you something. It's the highest for me. So if you want to see it, you can go there. Well, the rest of you, because one of you is going to see it later. So I just want to congratulate all of you, because your reach is far more than just on the track, in the water, on the field, in the diamond. It's reaching other people. And whether you realize it or not, people are watching you. And you're an inspiration to all of them, and I'm so happy to be a part of this. So, next, we're going to move on with the program, and guess what? I'm going to bring back my good friend, Rusty.
I know I don't look that much older. Thanks, Gura. I really appreciate Carl's involvement and Carl's support and Carl's recognition, because it means a lot to be able to look back, but it also means a lot to be able to say, don't tell me where we were, tell me where we're going. And I think that's the shared vision that we all have, is what do we do and how can we make this award mean as much to these folks in the futures as it did to Carl. And I think to hear his message and the fact that his Sullivan Award is sitting where it is today, to pay homage to what that award was, gives us motivation to ensure that the tradition and the history goes forward. See a lot of videographers, you're going to see a lot of video, and we plan to do just that. And that's to do everything in our power to continue the legacy and the honor of the oldest award in sports. At this time, we got to recognize some folks that have really pitched in to make this happen. First of all, I'm going to start with our officers. Joe Gura, if you would stand up. Joe Mirza, stand up. Cindy Twombly. Without the officers, their support, their encouragement, and their committed vision to the future, we wouldn't be doing this here today with you guys. Also, our BOD. If you're on our BOD, just stand up, let everybody see you. Because we had to take this to our board of directors, say we think we can pull this off in a short period of time. Thank you for the support that you had in us. And then the committee, the Sullivan Award Committee, who we tasked in a very short period of time to pull this off. If you're here in the room, let's just stand up and see you guys as well, our Sullivan Committee. We got some great partners that have made this happen. Eastbay, I don't think, I didn't see any of them coming in, but they could be in the room. Thank you for their help. Chelsea Chen from the NBA. I don't think Chelsea made it. Carissa, I don't think Carissa here with the NBA, but thank them. Florida Sports Foundation folks, they've pitched in to help. I know Lisa was going to be here in the room somewhere. Our Greater Orlando Sports Commission. Jason, I saw you somewhere. Where are you? Jason Siegel, the President and CEO of Greater Orlando Sports Commission, all the wonderful things they're doing for the community. The Orlando Magic. So I saw them come in the room, but obviously this evening they're hosting a secondary presentation at halftime during their televised opener, season opener of the NBA season. We thank them for all their support and everything they're doing. And of course, our partner Disney, Fred, I saw you. I'm not sure if Farron, who else is here, but Fred, Disney, if you guys would just stand up and be recognized. Thanks for everything we do. It takes a village, folks. It really does. All right, you didn't bring me here to talk about this. This is really Carl's show. So I'm going to turn it back over to Carl to get to the meat of this. So once again, Carl Lewis.
Okay. All right, so our next, moving on, okay. Well, I just want to talk to you a little bit about, I guess, my AAU experience, because when I first started, running AAU track and field back in the early 1970s, some amazing things happened. So I started in 1970. I was not a very good athlete. I was a late bloomer. My sister was an All-American immediately. My brother was all great, but I was a late bloomer. So I saw a lot of my AAU experience. I was able to see everyone, because when you're not winning, you can see them in the heats from behind, and then you can see them in the finals from the side. But what I learned was something interesting, and I always talk to my mother. My mother gets angry when I tell the truth about this. But my parents were incredible because they were running this club. So our family was basically, they were teachers, I went to the schools. And then they were coaches, we went to the summers. So we spent all of our time together. And of course, I was just a young kid, wasn't really growing well, and the difficult challenges running on this track club. And I remember they always encouraged me, and that was a great thing. They said, be the best you can, don't worry about winning races, but be the best you can. And so she would, I remember always looking with this focus in her eyes. And as I got older, after all of that time, I realized she was focusing her eyes because she didn't want me to see the rest of her body with all of her fingers crossed, hoping some of this happened. But the reality is that it shaped who we were. It shaped the way I looked at life, because I learned that you're focused on your best. You're not going to always win. Create relationships with people that you deal with. How to be teammates, because we travel. When they put a whole bag of chicken, don't eat all of it. And dad gets the biggest piece, we know that. But then you're going to go sit there hours and hours a day, because if you run the first race in the morning and don't make the finals, and your sister's in the finals at 10 p.m., all of these things, you learn amazing life lessons. But then the biggest thing you learn is family. Because when you're an AAU track athlete, your family comes along, and they're going to the meets, and they're cheering you around the world and around the place you go. So that was an incredible experience for me. So now I just want to go back and introduce a history of the AAU Sullivan Award video. Let's go to the videotape. Okay.
Welcome to the annual James E. Sullivan Awards, celebrating sports at its purest level.
These awards have been presented annually by the Amateur Athletic Union since 1930.
We have world champions here tonight. We have Olympic champions here tonight. We have world record holders.
Well, tonight it's perfect. We have athletes who in just about every case have done things that we've never seen before.
This is a wonderful moment for all of you. It's not just what you've done in your athletic arenas, it's the things we hear about you away from that arena.
Hello everybody, I'm Rusty Buchanan, the President and CEO of the Amateur Athletic Union of the United States, the AAU. One of our most prestigious awards given out every year is the James E. Sullivan Award. Actually been given out longer than the Heisman Trophy. Former winners, Michael Phelps, Sarah Hughes, Peyton Manning, have all been recipients of the James E. Sullivan Award.
Look at all the past winners and just to think that I'm in the same class as those athletes and just the people that I was running against. And those athletes, they just have accomplished so much.
I mean, people winning Heismans, multiple gold medalists, and to be a part of that group is just phenomenal.
As an athlete, we put in so much work every day towards a goal years down the line, and to be recognized and have everyone come together for something like this is really special.
Your last 2 years have been some of the most historic in gymnastics history. Will you talk a little about what you've done the last 2 years?
I'm a 2-time world champion and I'm a 6-time world medalist. So
I feel like athletes put so much hard work into what they do and their sport, and everything goes on behind the scenes. No one gets to really see it. And I feel like this is one of the awards that really recognizes that hard work.
You know, you hear about athletes all the time, you know, doing great things on the field, and the cool thing about people that I've got to meet here is what they do off the field.
You know, it takes their sport, you know, into consideration, but also, you know, how they live their life, which is very important.
It really is about, you know, the character and the striving and the effort and the moments that get you to be the best athlete, but also be the best version of yourself. And I think that's what we respect so much about amateur athletics.
They all have the same values of the commitment to excellence of their sport, their drive, their discipline.
That's what this award represents. It represents integrity, it represents passion, it represents being true to your ideals.
And what a better way than to be in the venue like the New York Athletic Club that is just the epitome of amateur sports.
Thank you to New York Athletic Club. I am a member and a world champ for you guys, so it feels good every time to come back to the AC.
The New York City Athletic Club is a historical prominence in the field of amateur sports. Along with the AAU, who was founded out of the New York City Athletic Club, I think we are out there and we represent those values, ideals, and dreams that kids have of being the best you can be in the field of the sports.
You know, we put our heart and soul into what we do every day, and so to have people see that is really huge for us.
And I think that that's one thing that the AAU does very well is they consider athletes in such a wide variety of sports, and they bring recognition to sports that maybe wouldn't have necessarily had that spotlight shined on them.
It's surprising to see athletes from all sports. You've got swimmers, you've got basketball players, you've got football players. AAU is truly a home for all sports and sports for all forever.
This will have an incredible impact on my sport because, again, it shows that you're never too old to strive for something. You're never too old to have goals out there, and you will have a chance to be recognized, and that's what we all look for.
People don't remember titles that you've won 3 years down the road. What people remember is your character, your passion, your heart, everything that the Sullivan Award defines.
The qualities that you learn as an athlete are so important, and so to be a part of this group is really an honor for us.
I'd like to congratulate all of the nominees. What a wonderful class of nominees we have for this year's James E. Sullivan Award, and you are all truly winners and truly some of the best athletes the United States has to offer.
I'm going to introduce all of the Sullivan Award finalists, and I've asked them all to come up to the stage. And as they're coming, we are going to see a short video of all of them. We're going to start by, I'm going to invite some guests up here to give out your Sullivan Award medal to our finalists. Rusty and Cindy handing out medals. I like that. Kevin Copps getting his Sullivan Award medal. Good job, Kevin. Hair didn't move. And Maddie. Now, actually, congratulations. So I know Thing is sitting there saying, where am I standing there by myself? We have a medal for you, but we have a special guest. And it's a guest that's going to present her medal to her. And it's really interesting. We have a unique relationship with her guest. When she was still in high school, I saw her as a sprinter, successful sprinter. And then she went on to the next level competing. But I think the message is really strong because she ended up running an event longer. She was a 400, but she didn't start as a 400-meter runner. So it tells you the message never ends. Make sure you focus on, you may not finish where you start, but you can always go somewhere. So I want to invite Kaylin Whitney up here to hand Athung her medal. Now guess what? They were on the Olympic team together, gold medalists in the 400, 4x4 relay. They have not seen each other since Tokyo. Hey, baby. Well, we're going to have some fun here, so we're going to actually have some questions to you. So Kevin, why don't you slide on up here? You're looking at me like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. Why don't you hold that mic and I'll go here. So, you started in Texas, the state of Texas, and went to Arkansas, and now you're a professional. So since you're a professional, you're on the West Coast now. What's the biggest challenge about being on the West Coast in California, especially since you grew up in the, the South and Mid-South, and now you're out in California? And tell with your dog, right? So, you know, you're a baseball pitcher. The ball got wet a lot. So you did a lot of practice drying. I mean, was it kind of between it? And what did the dog say about your throws? Sometimes they come back slow and say, "What's up?"
Yeah, sometimes you wouldn't even go get him.
He wouldn't bring it back?
Yeah, and that's when I knew I was.
Or like the bad pitches, he spit on it more?
Yeah,
You know,
he made me go
"Ugh,
get him, like, walk over
I
there."
got to fix that fastball. So you had a tough season in 2020 and bounced back. What would you say, what would you say you attribute to not only the tough year, but also how you bounced back?
I would say two things. I would say my faith in God would be number one, and then number two, the belief my coach had in me, because at one point I had a conversation with him whether or not I should just try to sign a free agent deal or come back to school, because I didn't want to just be a roster spot to fill up in.
On the team.
Yeah, and he assured me that he wanted me back, and I came back, and I just kind of, that summer, just focused on faith in my baseball and just kind of let things happen.
Okay, so you're working on your master's and you majored in biomedical engineering. I know people are like, ooh. Explain what motivated you and what are the kind of things you think you may be doing?
At first, I kind of wanted to be like an ER doctor, so I think that's kind of what inspired the engineering part of me, or the biomedical part of engineering. And then the other part would be I had a Tommy John surgery back in 2017.
Which is?
Oh, sorry. It's UCL replacement in your elbow. Yeah, I had surgery back in 2017, and I kind of got inspired a little bit with all that about like artificial ligaments and stuff like that for like maybe knee replacements too, or the
Right.
shoulder and everything like that.
Well, that would give interesting perspective because you may be helping people. It's something that you knew from your perspective. So your name has become a big legend in Arkansas. You know, that was your school. Who would you attribute to, and who do you want to thank in that process at school? Because that was what really got you on this road. And then also your family and people like that. Who do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, first off, God, obviously.
Right.
Just leaning on Him through all my hard times, and then like the coaching staff at Arkansas is unbelievable. They just kind of teach you how to grow up and be a man. So when you do have like hard times like that, you know how to get through them, and like it makes you better for it. And then my dad, he's sitting over there, and the rest of my family, they've given me so much support through this. I don't know how I can ever repay him back for what he's done for me. And then, of course, my teammates, because I wouldn't have had the year I had if I didn't have my teammates behind me.
Well, it seems like you're already doing that. But I'm going to tell you a funny story about your dad. So it's a good one. So your dad and I saw each other earlier today, and he came up and he talked about it. First, he went to U of H, University of Houston, so I knew he was a smart guy. But he also went to the high school, and I grew my first house was like right down the street from his high school years ago. And I know that because I moved there before the high school was invented. Now, of course, they built the high school in 2015, but I moved there before they built the high school. I watched them build it. So we go way, way back. And so congratulations to you, young man.
Thank you.
Have a seat. Maddie, you're my... Come on in closer. I only bite on Sundays. Come on.
Hey guys. Yeah, I mean, my experience, I played in 2016 in Rio as well at a very young age. I was 18 when I had my first Olympic experience. So in Tokyo, I compared a lot of it to that experience and kind of what I could learn from, what I could take with me into Tokyo. And I think COVID for me was a blessing. It was more time to prepare, more time to get better. And I had surgery in 2018, and more time for me was more time to get stronger and to develop as a player. And I used that year to not only connect with my teammates, but connect with my own, my own mind, my own self, to see how I could be my best self when I was out there.
Good. Okay, so a lot of you probably watched the water polo when you were playing and everything. So let me help me with this. How did it looked like your skull, your cap was really flat? How'd you get all the hair in that hat?
I know.
Help me out here. What's that about?
I know. You have to wrap it up, and you just have to tuck it in the cap that goes under the other cap because you have ear
Oh, you have
guards.
2 caps.
Yeah, I wear 2 caps because I also tie my cap like so tight because in water polo it's very physical. You can like rip people's caps off, and it's a very physical game. So I actually have, knock on wood, have never lost my cap in a water polo game, and I hope to keep it that way.
So you never lost your cap?
Yeah, because some people lose their caps and their hair is like everywhere, and you can't swim.
So the word's out that leave her alone because she won't let you get her cap.
Yeah, I'll like throw it.
Right. You're the cat jockey.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started at 8 years old.
I did.
And how did you get into it? And then I want you to explain, because when I talk to people about water polo, they actually think sometimes you touch. Explain how you got into it and how difficult just the basics of water polo is.
Yeah, so both my parents are actually from the East Coast. So my dad played baseball, my mom played soccer, and they actually came over to California when they got married, and we all did swimming. They never swam, they didn't know what water polo was at all. And my older sister had a friend who introduced her to water polo, and we grew up playing soccer and swimming, and water polo is like the perfect combination of all of those sports. It's like basketball, it's kind of like wrestling as well because you're super physical. And I just like fell in love with it. I love that it was a mixture of everything, and I just kind of skyrocketed with it. It was the only sport I wanted to play. I knew I wanted to be an Olympian at a really young age. In my 6th grade yearbook, I wrote I want to be an Olympic water polo player, and obviously it came true at a very young age.
So you all actually stay up the whole time?
Yeah, we do not touch the bottom of the pool. We tread water.
Okay, for tread water. So do you just, how do you just practice treading water? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really hard to teach like a 10-year-old how to tread water. Yeah. You drown for probably the first 2 years that you play water polo, and then it gets easier as you go. But that's the hardest part, is being able to stay afloat for hours. We practice like 7-8 hours a day where we're not touching the bottom of the pool. So a lot of endurance and a lot of legs.
Okay, a lot of legs.
Yeah.
So that's how you keep those people in that cap.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Goddaughter, little Avery. So I'm goddaughter, I'm sorry. So when are you going to get getting her in the water? And because you're going to teach her the same way as you. So when are you going to get her in the water?
My goddaughter Avery?
Yeah, goddaughter Avery.
Well, so her mom is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist as
Okay.
well. And she swims, but I will definitely be introducing water polo to her soon. But she is swimming. She's only 2, so she's like just loving the water. But she's feisty, and I can see her being a really great water polo player. So I just got to keep that inspiration and passion for it, but also don't want to wear them out. So.
Okay. All right. What's next for you?
I'm a 6th year at UCLA, so going into my last year, and I want to go to Paris in 2024, so I have my eyes set on another Olympics, so we'll see how that all turns out.
Oh, well, good luck to you.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Thank you. A thing. Years ago, this is a really interesting story. Years ago, when I made my first team, I was 17. And there was a woman named Madeline Manning Mims who took me in because all the guys didn't want to play with me because I was on the Pan Am team and I was so young. And when I saw your Olympic experience and the way it was, I thought of not just of Madeline as you getting the gold medal, because you were the first American since her to do it, but her grace, her style, and her class. And you ran similar looks. So what's it like to be compared to be on the world stage at such a young age and have such accomplishments? What's it like for you?
I would say it's definitely an incredible experience. I think most of the, like where I'm getting the incredibleness from is the fact that I'm only 19 and the fact that I feel like a lot has happened within the past 3 years of my life. And so I knew I'd always wanted to be an Olympian, an Olympic gold medalist, but I didn't know it would be, right now, and it would just happen so rapidly. So I think I'm just most proud of the fact that, no matter how fast this time went, no matter what was right in my, any problems that occurred or what was right in front of me, I still was able to get through it and accomplish whatever it was. So I think I'm just most proud of that. So.
Well, you're one of 7 siblings, so what has your family meant? Not just your parents, what has your family meant to you in your running? And did you guys get out and run together and have competition young and all of that? She has family members here, that's why she's going to say, let me kind of make sure I say this right.
Definitely always competitive. I think it only came like 2 years ago where I kind of became the best runner in the family. So, I can kind of stun it now, but we are always competitive. We are always competitive, but I think that only pushed one another, all of us together just to be great.
Okay, let them know who's Little Bentley.
Oh my God. I have a new pug. His name is Bentley. I've loved pugs for so long. Like, I don't even know how long it's been, but like literally for so long. And my brother got me one as a gift after I came back from the Olympics, and it was a parade at home. So, wow, he's great. He's a baby, so he pees and poops everywhere, but he's great. I love him so much, and I'm just so thankful for him.
Well, you moved from New Jersey down to, and you say you're a partial Texan.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say, how do you come to that conclusion? Because that's your new city. So, you're at Texas A&M, you're still in school, and you're working on your degree. So, what are you studying, and where do you think what do you want to do with it?
Yeah, I'm leadership studies right now. I'm still trying to figure out what I really enjoy. I know exactly what I am interested in the body and how it works and how it functions, whether that's nutrition or kidneys. I enjoy both of those things. So I think just being in general studies is just really trying to leading me to whatever is most interesting, or just leading me into the right direction of what I would want to further my studies in. But after college, I would definitely love to be probably like a massage therapist or athletic trainer. I enjoy watching my trainer work on me. I think it's interesting, everything that he does. I think he's very smart, so I enjoy that.
All right, so you have a World Championships in your own country next year. It'll be the first ever in the United States. What are your goals for that meet and also the near future?
I don't want to say that I'm not that experienced, but it being the first time, or not first time, but it's been a while since we've had a big championship in the U.S. So it'll be my first time. So it'll be a new experience for me. But I'm just excited to bring it back home, and I just would love to be another 800-meter champion. A world champion would be great. I think in the future I would definitely love to do a double, 4-8 double, if World Athletics or whoever is in control of the schedule makes it work out well for me. I would love to do that.
That's still that pesky schedule.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to have some world records under my belt as well. But I'm just taking it day by day, and I'm just step by step.
All right, congratulations, and good luck to you. Well, Caleb Dressel isn't here, but he did send us a video, so let's go to the videotape.
Everybody, I wanted to say thank you so much. It's truly an honor to be nominated for this award. I really appreciate this opportunity. I will see my fellow nominees and everybody else later tonight. Thank you.
And our fifth finalist is Simone Biles. So let's give another hand to our finalists. Congratulations, tremendous athletes. And we'll move on. I'm going to bring Rusky back up to get our finals.
Thank you, Denny. Before we open the envelope here, I would like to thank the families. Let's give you guys that all stand. Thank you for sharing these guys with us. Thank you for allowing them to come. Thank you for being a part. Come on, stand up, sis, Dad. Thank you guys. They're your family. This is your personal, private time, and thank you so much for sharing them with us. You realize we have more Olympic medals on this stage than most countries have? More Olympic medals here than most countries. That's pretty impressive in my mind. Olympic MVPs, multi-year Olympic gold medalists, Players of the Year. we have got some super, super special folks. And how they got here is kind of interesting because it starts with a series of votes. We let the public vote. We let past winners vote. Our BOD and our Sullivans wrote, and then each person is ranked 1, 2, 3, or how they are. And that's how the finalists are awarded and ultimately the winner chosen. So to say that you guys are here, you're not here because we picked you. You're here because your fellow athletes picked you. You're among the top 5 of all the athletes nominated. And I believe there was over 200, I think I saw at one point, initial nominees. And you guys are here. That's pretty cool. You're the top 5. So thank you for being here. Denny said to hold this up for the media so we can get it real nice. Do I need to put my glasses on, Denny, or did you print it big enough I can read it? Okay. Oh, okay. The 91st AAU James E. Sullivan winner is actually winners. Caleb Dressel and Simone Biles. Alan, you're here. Alan, if you'd come up. Alan is Caleb's attorney and agent. If you'd come up, and I'll let you accept the award on his behalf.
First of all, we'd like to thank the AAU for everything. On behalf of Caleb, who's unable to be here today, irreconcilable conflict, and we'll see you all tonight, I'd like to just say thank you. I think that Caleb embodies this award, his love for his family, his country, God, and he's a pleasure to represent. I'd like to thank everyone that's here tonight, today, and say to you all, congratulations. I've had an opportunity to sit with these young athletes. They are, ladies and gentlemen, you should all be very, very proud of them. And thank you to the AAU for the Sullivan Award on behalf of Caleb Jessup. Thank you.
Caleb is on his way down here from Gainesville, I understand. And so he will be here with us later today, this evening. So Caleb's on his way down here from Gainesville. Thank you for that. And our producer, Denny, I got to thank Denny. Denny took this and he ran with it. He made some stuff happen. You know, Melissa is ill. Melissa couldn't be here. Denny took this on his own, and Denny's told me every single thing I need to do and say. Denny, I hope I've done all right. And Denny told me that we do have another video we'd like to show. So we have one more video we'd like to show.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be there in person, but I wanted to reach out and thank you for voting for me as the 91st AAU Sullivan Award winner. This award is unique because it focuses not only on outstanding athletic performance, but also takes into account qualities of leadership, character, sportsmanship, and an athlete's overall positive impact to society. The Sullivan Award is one of the oldest awards in sports, and I am honored to be included as one of its recipients. Also, thank you to the AAU for your continued support of athletes and for continuing to recognize athletes' contributions both on and off the playing field with the AAU Sullivan Award. My love for gymnastics started at a very young age, from bouncing off the furniture to training in the gym, but through it all, it was my goals and dreams that motivate me in and out of the gym. I encourage all young athletes to follow your dreams, as you never know where they may take you.
All right, and as a special treat to everyone in the room, in just a moment, we're going to ask the athletes to come have a seat down here. We're going to pass out posters with all their pictures on them. We're going to have an opportunity to scroll by very quickly, say hello, and honor and thank them. So at this time, I think that we'd like to get a couple of pictures up here, and then I think, Denny, we're going to move them forward, all right? So I'm going to bring Denny back up to steer the show.
Okay, thank you, everybody. As our president mentioned, the athletes will be sitting over there shortly after they take a couple of pictures with BOD and committee and officers, and then they'll be right over there if you'd like to line up, and there's really nice posters that they'll sign for you. So thank you again, everybody. This concludes the 91st AAU Sullivan Award.